Hello everybody, welcome back to another Supreme Commander Forge Alliance Forever cast. We're playing today on the map generator. We've got 8 high-level players. Only 2 players in the game today are not above 2k. And immediately BalanceSlave says, I'm rusty, go easy on me at 2300. And Blodir at 2400 says, okay. Are they going to be rusty? I somehow doubt it, to be quite honest. Let's introduce our players. We've got Deli in the bottom corner. He's going Aeon, queuing up a second air factory. He's in a kind of protected slot here. At the front for team 2, we've got GB BalanceSlave in this breast cancer pink Cyberncom. No Hydros today for our high level players, so they are making P-gens first. Very, very sensible. At the back, we've got Cupid, also in Aeon. It's making P-gens all day. And we've got epic-bennis at the top, playing in the Seraphim. Slightly on his legs run backwards there. But look at the map, look at the amount of mexes that these players have. We'll give them a count in a minute, but let's assume for a second that you are boomnoob here in grey, and you only expand south, which seems very sensible. If you do that, you've got maybe 6 in your base, 5, 10... 15, 20, 25, 30 mexes. This means that with this many mexes, players can hit 1000 eco really quickly. They can pump out experimentals. They can make so many units because they tend to scale really well. That's the kind of the big defining thing about the better players, is that they scale their production and their eco really well. In purple, highest rated player in the game today, it's Blodir. He's at the back. Then we've got JaggedAppliance in red, playing a very customary red Cybran, making look. What is he going to do next? Contemplating his next move here. Processing actually, since he's a Cybran, right? Processing his next move. What's he going to do? Oh, more P-gens. There we go. And at the back, we've got Protect in an air slot, and he's using this strategy where you put all your P-gens within this build circle here, so there's no walking, no lost time. Very, very sensible. And he's going to be expanded forwards, he says. Oh, I know, he says, you take this japped. Now, pretty sure JaggedAppliance is not actually from Japan, but we will see. So, as you can tell from this content, no epic memes today. This is a raw cast. It's just me and the game and the replay, and high definition replay and very smooth CPU score. So I'm pretty sure after a recent rebuild that I've done, I have the lowest CPU score in FAF. Don't quote me on that, I'm not sure entirely, but I'm pretty sure I do. And that means there won't be any slowdown, which is really nice. So I'm kind of going into like mass corporate production. Well, not really, but imagine like imagine if I was going to be a company, like not like a university, which is that's just a hedge fund which pretends to sell education on the side for tax evading reasons, like a burger company, but not like McDonald's, which is a real estate company that uses burgers to pay the bills, because I don't need burgers to pay the bills. Imagine you just want to produce like nice food, right? And I make 60-70 hours preparing some nice food content for you all, but there's really no difference in the amount of views and kind of comments that content gets compared to other people producing something which takes only 2 or 3 hours. And everybody keeps asking me to make more casts, so I figure I can kind of make something a little bit like a burger. It's going to be simple, it's honest. First blood here, looks like it's going to be going to BalanceSlave. Game over there. He picks up these mech marines with his mantis. Going to be making something a little bit like a burger. It's simple, it's honest. These casts are not fancy, but they are satisfying, right? And you can potentially have one a week, because I can make one a week without ruining my social life. Not that I had a social life, but if I did, it would ruin it. So all these players are going to be very aggressive. Still making mech marines versus mantis. That goes very badly for the little runny boys. Hop. Oh, he just fell over backwards. Very sad. because we've got a high rated game today, I really want you to kind of look at how active they are. They're all going to be making units. I really don't think you're going to see a lot of sitting back and chill. Although, having said that, there are no units on the bottom for Deli, and there are no units on here for boomnoob. But they aren't, I don't want to say it's because they're not 2K, because they are both higher rated than me on Global. Bit of aggression here. We've got a Tech 1 bomber from Bennis, and that's already picked up a kill by the looks of things. This engineer hiding in the foliage. I'm sure he won't get bombed. Yes, he does. GG. That's going to delay expansion here. And our map today is a little bit like Gap of Rohan if the mountains were instead replaced with these ponds. So choke point in the middle, we've got this little peanut lake. Lake Peanut is what we're going to call it. And these big oceans here, and this is potentially big enough for Navy. Maybe not T3 Navy, but Tech 2 Navy I can see being useful. But also hover will be really, really strong. Like hover units into these back areas. And something which is perhaps concerning, something which to note, I think, is that both players in these corners here have not taken all their mexes yet. And what that means is that this would have been ripe for a proxy base, given the time it's taken the engineers to get down here. So, but no drops, just one engineer. Deli is trying something. Where is he walking his ACU? Well, he's walking his ACU over here, so he's going for an invade, but no gun or anything on his ACU. He's just walking there to threaten by the looks of things. We've already got a frigate in the top pond. That Cybram frigate zooming forwards. Zooey gonna get blapped. Pop. Very explosive, that Zooey. And Blodir going for a land factory and a radar. It's kind of weird because when I see some of the high players stream, not many of them actually make radars. They tend to only use Tech 1 scouts. Radar for at the front. Very sensible. We're going to have an immediate gun upgrade for Jagged. Are we going to see any other gun upgrades? Boomnoob. Look at him in that gunmetal UEF. He is the chonkiest of boys, look. I like how he has this, like... Oh, there we go. Even look at that. The magic of casting. He starts gun. Perfect. And so does BalanceSlave. I don't know if that's reactionary because he can see it. It's not. Unless this scout saw it. But, yeah, 2 gun upgrades exactly the same time. Doesn't show up when I zoom out, which is slightly concerning, but Blodir also on an upgrade, almost certainly gun. We have 3 comms versus 3 comms in the middle, as you might expect. But that's working out as a 2-on-1 here and a 2-on-1 here, so a little bit asymmetrical. That is good, we get to see defending. What is Deli doing here? He's attacking the mexes, what he's doing. There are really no land factories. There's 2 land factories here and 1 here. They can easily kill all of this right now. The Tech 2 mexes are a bit too far away though. But if these units were brought back, he would suddenly be in a big problem. These mexes not really getting him much veterancy, but Jagged completes his gun first. Epic-bennis starts gun as a reaction here, I think. But Jagged's going to be able to pick up a bunch of tanks. Does he know the ACU is here and on an upgrade? No, he does not. Because if he did, I think he would be force firing it and making artilleries. Obviously, his gun range is slightly more than opponents right now. And this range, actually, this is going to be a balance change. I should really make a video about balance changes. I should really do that. But, this vision range is going to be improved slightly. He does now see the ACU. And he's going to start shooting here. Epic-bennis taking damage.
Under attack.
Not a huge amount of damage, to be fair. And he's actually completed gun and started Tech 2, but has now cancelled it. Well, this pulling these units back has left boomnoob open to an attack by BalanceSlave here. Now, I know that he's called Grimplex, and you probably also know that he's called Grimplex, but because most of the people in YouTube don't actually know that the higher players rename themselves every 2 seconds, I kind of have to use their names that they use in the games, and if they don't like it, they can just stop renaming themselves. You know, there's really no need to rename yourself every 2 seconds. Okay, we can maybe move this one south, because I feel like Deli... Oh my god, Deli is in a massive problems here. I don't think he expected all the units to get brought back, but they have been brought back. He can still get out, but if he gets bumped too much, he's gonna suffer. The move command is in the pond. The units actually didn't shift G behind him, but they have been now. Oh my god, I spoke too soon. I spoke too soon. Deli is gonna get crushed here. He must dodge the artillery shots. It's still possible for him to live, especially if he... Why is he not... He stopped his ACU to get on a transport. I think he could have lived. But he stopped and ate a whole bunch of artillery shells. And he gets picked off before the transport arrives. Sends out a message that says, oops. Well, yeah. I felt like he could have proxied or something really cool down there. But, didn't work out for him. JaggedAppliance going for the ACU here. I don't know if he's hit ACU priority. Oh, an overcharge here would be absolutely disgusting. No. No. Oh, okay. There's a lightning tank on the field. And an Otham. I don't know how that managed to get here. There's a T3 support factory here already. We're at 11 minutes. T3 units all over the place. Which means there's probably ASF too. Yes, there is. Up to 1 star of veterancy, which gets Jagged another 6 HP a second. Epic-bennis also has veterancy, but that he's a little bit lower. And Blodir deciding to come up. So this is going to put real pressure on Bennis, who's already at half health. Let's check the rest of the map. Well, boomnoob is potentially in danger here. He's like Ralph Wiggum at the end of the bus. There's a lot of units here for BalanceSlave. A lot of units. A lot of units. And, okay, they're hoplites. They're not massive direct damage, but... How is Epic-bennis going to play this one? If he can get some good overcharges, he can get another layer of vet very quickly. So he's building Tech 2 PD, but that is shooting the floor because it's been placed not particularly well. Oh no, he needs that DPS. Loses all the engineers. His army evaporates and is kind of in the wrong place. Now he shift G's it here, but that's going to block his ACU. The shield's preventing damage from this. He's blocking his own ACU here. It's kind of disastrous. The Othams roll in, take down the shields. He's going to die without doing any damage to the ACUs here. That's a big F for Team 2. A big, big F. Because they are now down 2 players. And this is a weird split. Look at that. Very, very sensible. Cupid says, I will take the top. BalanceSlave can have the bottom. They'll split it roughly in the middle, although it's not quite perfect. But both these players more than capable of handling all these mexes. And at 13 minutes, well, we've got 350 eco, 300 eco here. This is the kind of eco levels that beginner players top out at in gap, right? They top out in gap at like this number after 50 minutes, and our players here have reached that 13. Although, you know, obviously they have a lot more mexes, but bear with me for it. You know, it's not perfect. Protect comes in here, takes away that strat, takes away these mercies. Mercying the Othams, actually, I feel is a perfectly good thing to do with them. I don't feel like that's cheesy at all. A bottom pond win for boomnoob, and a top pond win for Jagged. So map control firmly in Team 1's hand. Eco, well, Eco's actually far more even. And these hoplites are going to need to be microed very carefully. They don't do a lot of damage, but they are much, much faster than the Othams. Very rare that you see an Otham versus hoplite matchup. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen it. I don't think I've ever seen a game where you get this matchup. Blaze is brought in against these Riptides. They'll almost certainly be able to clean this up. Though the frigate will deal a bit of damage. And now it's BalanceSlave's turn to be under threat. Does he have overcharge? He must do. We can see his base. Where's the E-storage? I don't see E-storage, but he must have it. Yeah, he does. I just didn't see it quick enough. But he's in a real problem. If they primary his ACU right now, as they're doing, he takes a huge amount of damage really quickly. Luckily, the Mantis kind of get in the way with the pathfinding, and the Othams decide to retreat. Not sure if retreating there was a good plan, but these overcharges are absolute money shots here. Coombs right in the back end of this Otham gets himself another couple of layers of veterancy, up to 3-star vet, gains that health back up into the green. Well defended there by BalanceSlave. I thought he was in trouble, but he gets away with it. Now, boomnoob is advancing. There are bricks on the field, but he has gun and overcharge, so probably not going to be the end of the world for him. There's a large raid from Jagged. This is loyalists, so old school loyalists. They're only really useful at this stage of the game, but they don't do very well against Otham. Mass Otham from Cupid is going to shut that down. And the bottom pond looks like it's going to be contested. We've got a navy build here, 2 subs brought in to deal with it, 2 little tiger sharks. They're very cute with their subs. They're little torps. And I guess we can compare ecos now again. I'll leave it on. I want to leave the map big and the eco on, because you never know with these top players. They are always doing a lot of stuff, and I only have 2 eyes, so I can't always fix everything. Now, epic-bennis, who is dead, is helping his team here. He says, consider relocating ACU. I'm not sure he's under that much danger from this, but the Titans, on the other hand, are a problem. They can get around his ACU and kill it. Probably not when he's got all these bricks, so... Okay, let's have a split here. We've got 2 battles going to happen here. ACU and bricks here versus... Oh, sorry. Yeah, these units are going to get hoovered up. But this Otham push is incredibly dangerous, and not only is it Othams, but he's got lightning tanks as well. Absolutely devastating, and there's very little that Cupid can do with air because of the lightning tanks. And the DPS that these things put out is crazy, and he's going to lose a lot of mechs here. boomnoob able to reclaim this, and that's a lot of reclaim. That's like 10k. I'm going to estimate that at 10k. Don't go back into the replay and check it. I promise it was definitely 10k, guys. And this raid going to do a lot of damage. How many mechs are we going to lose here? I don't see any way of stopping this. Maybe he'll come around back. If he comes around this way, Cupid could be in real trouble. He has double gun, but this amount of Othams can still kill him. boomnoob picking up more veterancy. He's got the gun and the overcharge as well. So overcharge and T3 unit fight. I guess the question is, when will boomnoob swap to Percivals? Because Percivals are really the only thing that UAF has got. Oh, here we go. Here's the Percival. It looks very much like the Titan from Command and Conquer Tiberian Sun. Except obviously less janky. This attack's still going, and he did go after Cupid. The recharges, I feel like the Othams are just a little bit too slow, but oh, they're so expensive, these Otham. All of the anti-air is now gone, so gunships can be used. But he's losing a lot of mass. Look at all the mexes. I guess we should look at this fight down here. This is a very pretty firework fight. Look at that. Look at all the fire everywhere. This is kind of how I imagine battles in the 41st millennium to look like. It's just people spamming bullets at each other at insane rates. There are a lot more blazes here, but UEF, well, they're tanky boys, as you may know. Very tanky boys. They have 1800 health to the blazes 1100. They have shorter range and they're not quite as quick, I'm pretty sure, but they are very tanky boys. Especially with these destroyers sitting out here giving broadsides. So the Otham's going to get cleaned up, but look at the damage they've done. 3,000, 4,000, 6,000. Look at the damage. Okay, a split up order given. Very sensible. In come the bricks, and they have torpedoes, remember, so they can actually kill the UEF. UEF Navy is absolute garbage against torpedoes. You have to build specialist Coopers just to stand a chance, really. Really do. But this attack's still not been finished. It's going absolutely amazingly. 30 regen a second on this Otham. That really is quite incredible. This Otham picks up an ASF kill. What an absolute lad. 8,000 mass killed. Picks up another Mex. So one of the changes that's coming to FAF, and you might not know this, is that, well, are these bricks going to walk out into a whole bunch of angry, very angry Titans? Is that there are some balance changes coming for raiding. This is really around Tech 3 level, and that's that Mexes are going to have less health, which obviously I'm not very happy about UEF having their health of their structures decreased, because it's one of the few things they've got going for them. But also the mass that T3 and T4 units is going to be reduced. These units are going to give less mass and they're going to kill more Mexes. What that means is that raiding is going to become a lot more viable, because if you look at the amount of mass that was dropped in this attack, you lose one of these tanks, it pays for the rebuild of the T2 Mex immediately and some. So it means that raiding is not really as efficient as it should be. I think that's the main idea behind it. Tech 2 raiding up here, this is extremely effective. He's just moving Wagners. Now obviously, I think these were renamed before Wagner became a staple of the Russian military, as it is now. But on patrol routes, denying these Mexes, and obviously denying these Mexes here, whilst boomnoob has them at Tech 2 and upgrading with storages, is incredible for Team 1. Really, really good for them. The bricks shooting the cliff here instead of anything else. TML down here loading, no kills. I'm not really sure what that's intended to do, to be quite honest. But if we check the range, we can make some sensible assumptions, and I would imagine that this was built to clear out naval yards, and that's pretty sensible. Well, up here we've got cruisers versus Othams. These cruisers have got a lot of they have a lot of health, look. There's something very, very cool at the way FAF units basically independently target different things. And I'm also a huge fan of the Cybran units that fire their missiles at ground targets. That's very cool. We've got a torp snipe on the cruisers here. And in the middle, an air fight which has gone, looks like it's gone quite badly for the top team. Fairly sizable air grid here for Cupid. I guess we can check the numbers and totals. Protect. He's got 101 ASF at 20 minutes. BalanceSlave, well, he's got 77, and Cupid has 25. So it's actually dead even in air numbers. Absolutely dead even. Still these huge numbers of T3 units being crashed into each other here. And in the top, well, it looks like the underwater raiding has is going to be getting revenge. Cupid's going to be getting revenge for losing his own mexes to Wagner's. He's raiding across here with Othams. In the bottom corner, it looks like the UEF versus Blaze spam thing here is going into its kind of final hours. FAF have been kicked out somewhat I would say. PD, though, up on the beat. This is a UEF dream, isn't it? PD up on an elevated space, pounding the Aeon. It's beautiful. Fortunately, it looks like he's going to lose his Tech 2 Naval Yard. Probably won't be any further progress, but losing that's really painful. Big air incursion here. Let's check this out. Protect moving in. He's trying to corner Cupid. Cupid does a 1, 2, 3, 4-way split, micro him to try and get away. In return, Protect does a double split, catches this group. He's going to try to catch these. He's already killed quite a few. I think he got maybe 15, 20 ASF here. Doubles back, catches this group. Looks like these ones will escape, though. Or will they? Yes, they will. So good micro from both players there. And we're going to have bricks versus Othams. And normally this goes quite well for the bricks, just because they got more range. But in this case, they also have much more units. There's just more mass. The Percys, however, show up. And Percy Jackson here is just going to shoo away those bricks. Percy's absolutely deadly. Somehow, oof, get wrecked, brick. Got right in the ass. Percy had the last word there. No T4 on the field. However, you can see because of my icon mod with the little Rambo icon, it does look like Jagged has gone for Rambo boys. And 1, 2, and he's moving his ACU forwards as well. That's questionable. But he's got Rambo boys. Before there's any experimentals, they're very strong. Look at the health. 400 regen they have. And the AoE blast on the on here does a lot of damage. 500 damage a hit with a area of effect blast and an EMP which freezes units. Very difficult to deal with. And of course we've got Salem's for support. So we'll see how much damage he can do against this army. The thing is with these Rambo boys is they do lead a lot of micro, and in a game like this, macro really is king. Just having 100 more units than your opponent is very strong. So we can see that this has actually been used. Not really paid for itself. It's going for a mass murder on here. I kind of want to, if there was a way to like tag this so I wouldn't miss it, that would be great. But there's too much going on in the game for that really. We got Rambos up here. Keep an eye on the map. You'll see the TMR. I am trying to keep the map big. I know it's ugly, but got players doing a lot of stuff. I only got 2 eyes. It's really easy to miss things. That is the launch of the TML, by the way. Rambo boys. Well, they're moving in down here. Big. Well, look at the amount of fire here. Beam spammers. These bricks rushing. See this. I just want to see the massacre. Just 1 second. Great. And this really does this. Look at this. That is very pretty. That really is some 40k battles. Dreadnoughts and big chunky armored things blasting away each other with like pulse cannons and stuff. I love it. 4k and 1k on these already, but I feel like their range and stun is the most valuable part of them really. They're stunning even through the shield slip. Very strong. Now the push from the bricks, shift G'ing them, no AoE to take advantage of, and we've got 2 pushes, so I guess we'll split. Got 1 here, and we've got this big, this is a massive push here. The bricks, well, they're pushing in, but there's a chicken here that's going to be used. And down here we've got a chicken against Otham. So chicken against brick, chicken against Otham. And 26 minutes. Let's look at the eco. Both teams really high. 2.1k, 1.6k. Blodir, who is actually only on 1 base. Look at the eco up here. He is on nearly 1,000 eco at 26 minutes. That is a very, very sizable amount of income for 26 minutes. That means he can build a Paragon in like, what is it, like 3 minutes or something? So technically he could have already had a Paragon. If he started building a Paragon at like 600-700 eco, he could already have it. And he's spamming out experimentals and mass Otham armies at the same time. That is the power of scaling. So this chicken looks like it's going to be able to deal with the Othams, and the Otham is kind of the favorite food of the chicken. It outranges it and has great DPS because of the area of effect of the blasts. Only loses about half its health. Meanwhile, the boys up here pushing in, slowly working their way through. And the good thing about these is they do have build power, 56 build power, so you could actually patrol them and hoover up this real quick if you wanted to. Although it would probably be better to make Tech 1 factories with them. Boys are very strong. You can build SAMs, build TMLs with them, anything that will support your push. Chicken here is standing in no man's land. But this chicken and this chicken here, the one that's been brought back up from dealing with the other ones, should potentially be able to kill these boys. 2 chickens. Oh, the boys have been ambushed. Do they know about the chickens? They do. Sorry, I clicked the wrong player. He does know. He does know. I'm not sure there's much he can do, even at 400 regen. Oh no. The boys. It's a war crime. It's against the Seaton's convention doing this. Oh no. Although technically they were armed. It's only 2 spiders against this chicken. That's gone very badly. They like decapitated him. The last ball of that chicken actually kills off the spider with its last one last gasp. And the Ravagers spin up. They're going to keep the bricks away for a little while. You can see them like, looks like they're hissing all the way into the pond. Look. Oh, out of range. So BalanceSlave trades a spider for a chicken, which is a pretty good trade for him. And the Othams and the chicken being on the top, being harassed by the Tech 2 Navy. I feel like the chickens could quite easily crush Navy if they really wanted to. Despite losing the naval yard, it looks like boomnoob has managed to make a comeback in the bottom pond. And this push is looking very dangerous. Very dangerous. Double chicken here. Navy just not able to chew through the hit points fast enough. More chickens rolling off all the time. What can Blodir do about this? Well, he's just finished RAS and he started a RAS. That is, he's got a lot of faith in his defense here to start a RAS against 2 chickens, but he is better than me, so I'm not going to question it. Okay, he cancelled it. Alright, so I'm not too far off with my thinking there. A lot of ASF here. And an Awassa started, so a swap into air experimentals. All the armies kind of converge here to try to prevent this yellow push. The quantum gateways making Rambo boys actually die there. Mercy's brought in to punish these. This is the Bukaki unit. Look at that. Splooging on the chicken. So many Mercies. They are actually going to be changed. The next balance cycle comes out. The next patch, they're going to be... they're going to be a much less damaging but much wider area of effect weapon. Fat Boy now for the only UEF in the game. He is the only UEF for boomnoob. And we should be cheering for him really because he is the lowest rated player as well. But I don't think UEF can do anything against this. Bricks, Spider and Crab. The Fat Boy is just not going to do enough damage to stop this, especially not at that range. Neither will the Ravagers. And there are so many ASF. My god. 31 minutes. Let's look at the eco. Players are on 1,000 eco basically at 30 minutes. Fat Boy, well, they should be going for the spider really since it has the highest DPS, but it is also microing. It looks like the Fat Boy is going for the crab since it can't dodge. Also kind of sensible. More mercies. They're going to be brought in against this chicken. The black is going to take down some of them, not all of them. This base is just going to get pushed over by the Cybran here. BalanceSlave, too strong. Another Rambo. This is a Seraphim Rambo boy. It does have overcharge. The rare Seraphim overcharge Rambo boy. Get him. It goes down here. Fat Boy destroyed under construction. This Fat Boy, well, still working on the crab. Will it get the crab? I think it will. Not much health left. Very, very slowly killed it. Just not in time to save the base. This Awassa is nearly done. The air grids are only half shielded. So, real potential for damage with this. All the air gets transferred over. 560 ASF versus Protect on 404, so 50% advantage for Team 2 in air. They do have more air grid. They've got 2 players doing it against just 1. Blodir going the wrong way with his ASF. That looks like it's going to take a toll. Look at all the shift Gs. Look at the actual savagery in here. That's my god, I don't know what's going on, but look at that, boys. Derp's new PC. No slowdown. Still looks smooth. Let's go. Boomnoob is in trouble here. I think the Fat Boy will be able to deal with it, but Protect sees what's happened. He sees the Awassa and he just control Ks in his base. He gives up. This Awassa has managed to have this. Oh no! The Awassa is going to krill the air grid almost certainly. There's a huge number of ASF. Blodir starts Tsar, but that's not going to work because there's ASF everywhere. Eco-wise, well, Cupid and Blodir are above 1k. I suspect they're both going to go the unit spam route rather than try to make an end game, though. 50,000 mass killed on this one. Sam's being spammed everywhere. This is a great plan. Good play, but there's so many ASF. There's like 200 ASF left. These ASF could have potentially killed this. There. Instead, Boomnoob control Ks. How did that happen? What did he die to? I don't see any units here. Did he just give up? There were no bombers. Boomnoob, why? I don't see a nuke or anything on the team. I think he gave up. You have to tell me if I'm wrong in the comments. Really no crab here or anything that could have killed him. I feel like this Fat Boy will just die to the crab. You have to really micro them very well for them to do anything. The Ravagers shoot that crab in the ass. Dies from being penetrated from the rear. The 143,000 mass killed on this Awassa. Things are looking dire for Team 2. Sorry, for Team 1, things are looking very bad. Despite that, though, they are still in a 2v2, and the eco is now even. So, 34 minutes, the eco is even, 2,000 mass apiece, and 156,000 now on this Awassa. Fat Boy up to 50,000 mass killed, but I always just feel so ineffective. Thing about the Fat Boy. You build one, you can't attack with it unless you've got air. It does less damage than just a few gunships would. You You can defend if you've got air, but you can't attack. If you attack, it just dies to arties. Or taking a lot of damage on that turn, but kills some P-gens. Oh, yeah. Blodir gets a good pick up there with his ASF. But BalanceSlave has transitioned into Soul Rippers. He has 2 already active, another one on the way. What's he building? Well, Soul Rippers all day by the looks of things. What's the chat message say? BalanceSlave said, I accidentally made 200 Tech 2 PD. Make a lot of them. epic-bennis says to make a nuke. Okay. Double chicken versus crab. That's going to go well for the chickens. Fat Boy is not helping. And we got mass gunship for team 2. Now they've won air. Things looking absolutely dire for Blodir on the bottom here. And Jagged really doesn't have the... I mean, he's on 700 eco, but he's kind of up here in the corner. Doesn't have a lot of ability to affect that much. Where is his manufacturing? Well, making Tech 2. He's got a T3 naval yard. He's making a nuke sub. That's a way back into the game, I say. Well, they've kind of even eco, but I don't see that even eco lasting, judging on this. These 2 chickens getting shot by the bugs. They're getting bullied. Look at that. The tuning fork of doom on the front of these bugs. And 2 lightning storms here. I don't think the lightning storms actually hit ground targets, so... Right? Yeah, lightning storms don't hit air targets. Is that right? Yeah, I think they only hit ground targets, so the bugs are safe. 5 bugs and an Awasa, -1 Awasa. JaggedAppliance trying to be very sensible and just flood the world with bouncers, which is a very good plan. Definitely needs to try to target down the weakened ones because they all have regen. And what happened there? JaggedAppliance on really low health. Oh, I think he took an Awasa bomb. Another Awasa bomb will kill him. He's, this is really dangerous. A few SAMs about, but not really enough. 7? That's 6? 7 bugs now? So if you are Blodir, how can you win this game? I mean, the obvious thing is to go, well, we need to just go and snipe our opponent's ACUs. Which makes a lot of sense. I don't actually see the ACUs, though. Another gunship incursion at the top. Let's go and find BalanceSlave's ACU. It's here. It's actually unprotected. This is snipeable. Let's see Cupid's ACU. Here, also unprotected, unshielded, snipeable. So, a telemaser could kill both of them, I think, but not sure if Jagged is the type of player to go for that cheese. They might want to win kind of through macro means, rather than going for the tele snipes. 7 bugs here. It's going to be 7 bugs versus 5 chickens and a fat boy. Now, I don't want to make any early judgments, but bugs tend to beat chickens. And that's not some kind of like Pokemon super effective matchup where the bugs are like super effective against chicken type Pokemon. The chickens just don't shoot up. Very pink, huh? I feel like to win this game through macro means, he has to sacrifice territory in order to build air. He needs to take back air control somehow. He has to take air control. I don't know how he's going to do that, but taking air control back seems like the only other way to win. 7.6k mass killed on this submarine. They do fire those very scary TMLs. Bring air south. Okay, here we go. So the bugs are going to make an attack on all the chickens and the crab. Fat Boy's probably just going to get immediately deleted in like 2 seconds. There are SAMs. If you have reclaim like this, do you even need to worry about losing units? Oh. DPS is so high that the Fat Boy's reclaim got immediately killed as well. Rambo presets with overcharge. $50,000 HP they have, and they're making SAMs. Sensible. Oh, don't go in there, Blodir. He's got way more than you. No. That's going to force the air engagement. There is a whole bunch of bouncers and SAMs in the base. Potentially turnable. Down here we've got a huge invasion, T2. A crab goes down in the back. Not sure how that crab got there, but it did. Somehow the bugs kind of get shooed away a little bit. But Ravagers against Blazes and the insane bullet spam of the Riptide. Shift G'd Riptides. Terrifying. These ones aren't, but if they were... Aeon. See, this is why the Aeon lose all their battles. They're directionally challenged. Situational awareness of the Aeon is just not what it should be, you know? Something to do with their matriarchal society. No, I'm sure probably get banned for saying that. But, oh, look at that. This is a nice play. Look at this. All the way in enemy territory over here, but BalanceSlave reclaiming his own Rex. Very nice. Tsar completed for Blodir, and that will help him wrestle air control back because of the insane anti-air range it has. This is the anti-air range, so he can be killing ASF all day with this. And retreat back over the SAMs. The bugs, however, I just don't know what to think about that. How can he keep his air grid up to take back air control when it's under threat from multiple Tech 3 artilleries? Hovertham 1, 2, 3, and as SMD started. Not really sure how Blodir can come back from this. He has to survive the air control. There's like 7 spiders at the front as well. The bugs at the back. BalanceSlave is just really piling on the pressure here. Blodir's eco has dropped significantly, and that's due to losing the top base. He's lost the bottom base. Chickens versus spiders. This will be an enormous battle if this kicks off. The Tsar has got 6,000 mass killed in ASF already. This base survived the enormous onslaught of the Blazes. The chickens moving in here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 chickens. Keep an eye on the map. Where are those bugs? They're coming. 1 spider dies. 2 spiders. This chicken's going to die very quickly. Double spider dead. So 2 for 1 so far. As soon as they get primaried, BalanceSlave is microing them to try to dodge. You can definitely dodge these 3 balls, but didn't. Another chicken here. These ones walking into this their own lightning storm, which is a bit of a shame. But as a 4 for 2 exchange. 4 for 2 for the chickens. It's pretty good. Are going to delete this mass. In come the bugs. There's a lot of anti-air though. Look at all the anti-air. Not enough, I would say. Not enough. Sam's going up everywhere. The chickens fighting this army but dying rapidly at the same time. 3 crabs and 2 spiders moving in across the bottom. The artillery's still going. Over here we've got a destroyer who's just feeding on engineers. I don't know how many thousands of engineers he's killed. 43. We've got a battleship now as well. These battleships have the range to kill this army, which is very nice. Blodir almost gets caught again there. Is that what happened? Oh, there's so much reclaim. None of the bugs are gone, so he didn't manage to catch the bugs. I feel like it's stabilized. There was so much pressure there, but Blodir's managed to hold on. That's really... Triple bug versus this chicken, though, is not going to go well for him. I really like how this Tsar is just being used as, like, air support, really. Long-range air support. Is he going to use it to try to kill off the spiders? That will prompt a an ASF attack, almost certainly, on the Tsar. In come the ASF. They kill the Tsar, but there's no response from the ASF. Managed to get a spider, but that's it. Now the ASF move in, but it's a bit too late. It's a real shame. But Bennis says to Haza, make Scathis. Now there are no players in the game called Haza. So I assume that it's Cupid. It says to Cupid, make Scathis. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 experimental wrecks right there. BalanceSlave says, okay, Bennis. And Bennis wants to start clearing the SAMs. So clearing the SAMs with the crab, and then use their air dominance. So, battleship dying to chicken here. Very sad. But in the background somewhere, there's the nuke. Where is that going? We didn't really plan the nukes. Here is a nuke defense, but it's not loaded. Nuke defense here. No more nuke defenses anywhere. One here. One here. It manages to get over. The nuke defense just isn't loaded. And down goes 3 artilleries. That is an absolutely enormous pickup for Team 1. I can't tell you how big that is. That relieves the pressure on the air grid. They're going to be able to build back up, re-eco, and remake their air factories now. Not only that, but it looks like Jagged has just finished his own disruptor. That's a really, really big change. That could potentially swing the game. Although this push just looks... This push looks too much. Even with that, that was a great pickup. Jagged's ACU up here. Will the crab kill the chicken? I think it will. Yes, it will. Snipe Jagged with torps. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely vulnerable. He doesn't have cloak. I feel like going Deli would be good at this point, just to get out. He could potentially teleport here, kill some air grid, and then go somewhere safe with it. I love these Rambo boys waiting just in here for when the crabs walk past, they can overcharge them from behind. How many crabs does BalanceSlave have? He has... Oh. Because they show up as factories, it won't tell me. He has 8 crabs right now. This chicken is very problematic. It's making its way in. There's the anti-nuke. Is it going to get the disruptor as well? Things were just looking up for Team 1. I feel like it's the chicken is going to get the... It's going for the P-gens. The chicken up here kills the... Does it tread on the anti-nuke as well? No, the anti-nuke lives, then dies to a battleship shot. Very sad. The chicken does huge damage here. Disruptor didn't quite get through. And this push from BalanceSlave looks deadly. There's only 3 chickens to defend from 8 crabs. 4 chickens to defend from 8 crabs. There are gunships. It's ASF. Actually looking even on air. 230. Oh dear, how many do you have, friend? You have... There's multiple factions, so it's really difficult. He's got more. Blodir does have air control, technically. Technically has more air. epic-bennis correctly says, we've lost air now, and they have. Cupid has put his ACU into its anti-tele defense, so he predicted the tele. And they start work on SAMs because they have lost air. I feel like Jagged could go for bugs himself now, which they're all regenning. Look at the mass killed. Jagged could make his own bugs at this point, and it would work pretty well. They could have a 8v8 bug fight, and it would be legit. Where torps being made. Jagged is in trouble. I'm not sure he knows he's in trouble, but he's in trouble. BalanceSlave competes as Scathis. Sorry, what? As Scathis finishes. The air battle looks like it's gone. Oh, are the bugs going to go down here? The bugs are actually being fed in intentionally, maybe to tank the shots. Here goes the air battle. Big air battle in the middle. The gunships are killing the crabs. Air battles in here, but up the top we're going to have the snipe attempt against Jagged's ACU. Just leave that on the screen here. The SAMs are going to protect the gunships, but they're doing so much damage to the base. BalanceSlave's crabs here, just wrecking the base. The Scathis... Where's the Scathis firing? Scathis is firing on the base as well. It's just absolute chaos. Down goes Jagged. He dies to the torps. Go back to single screen. The Scathis is damaging the base. Up the top, the chickens are pushing in. 4 crabs in your base. The gunships aren't able to do enough. And BalanceSlave decides enough is enough. They really did hold on very well there. Normally what tends to happen is one team gets a little bit further ahead, and because the best players don't make very many mistakes, the game tends to go very predictably in one direction, so they do tend to leave the game more often. It's one of the reasons that low-rated games are actually a little bit more fun to watch sometimes, because they're actually less predictable. BalanceSlave really did well with his bricks here. He did have 2 bases. Then you've got Cupid here. Smart snipe attempts. Did go for those mercies. JaggedAppliance managed to stay relevant. The nuke was a great plan. It really kept them in the game. Blodir, I think, is going to be my MVP, though. He managed to hang on far longer than I think I definitely wouldn't be able to hang on that well. The play of the game, probably unit-wise, these bugs, they absolutely ripped the other team apart. And the only response, I think, was that nuke. Very clever nuke on the 4 RTs. So everybody played pretty well, except for Deli, who walked in and blew himself up. Rip. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the cast. Let's just check the scores. I hope you enjoyed this content. I know it's not the full, 50-hour meme and weeks and weeks editing it, but I hope it's still enjoyable for you. We do get to have a look at some of the cooler stuff. Have a nice chat. I kind of enjoy doing it. There's much less pressure on me to make things perfect. It means I can just do it after work or in an evening. So I'll probably be making a few more of these. Again, thanks very much for watching. Please leave me a comment. I'll see you next time.